Hello, viewers. You're welcome. This is Afro Politics panel discussion on Cleveland TV in diaspora. My name is Ajob. I'm your anchor to this program. This afternoon, we have gentlemen in the house that will be taking us through a very important discussion on analyzing Nigeria general elections 2023. Okay. Before we go there, I want to urge our viewers out there to subscribe to cleveland.com to be able to have access to this program. On my left-hand side this afternoon, I have Honorable Samuel Ikechukwu Eze. He is the chairman of Labour Party South Africa. And I have his counterpart this afternoon, Otumba Honorable Toyin Oyekami. He is the chairman of APC South Africa. Gentlemen, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're going to go on with this program. Cleveland TV is a platform, social platform that is established to unite Africans and highlight their achievements. That's our business here. This afternoon is Afro Politics panel discussion. We're looking at analyzing Nigeria general election 2023. Nigerians are expecting so much come February 2023, and Nigerians, we know, have a history of the elections. And also, Nigeria has that history of violence in election. But the question is this time, can we get it right? We have what it takes to have a free and fair election in Nigeria come 2023. We have the candidates that are competent enough to take Nigeria out of the economic quagmire where it has found itself this time around. We're going to be hearing from our gentleman, the party chairman in South Africa this afternoon. They will take us through. I want to direct my first question to the LPC chairperson, South Africa, Otumba Honorable Toyin Oyekami. You're welcome to the program. Before we go there, who is Honorable Toyin Oyekami, the APC chairman, South Africa? How do you introduce yourself to our audience out there in your own words?
Well, thank you very much. My name is Otumba Honorable Oluwatoyin Olamilere Oyekami. I am the APC, which stands for All Progressive Congress, South African chapter. I am a loyal and a faithful and ardent follower of progressive ideas. At the private sector level, before my advent into politics, I run one of the leading franchise in South Africa called the Jollof Cafe. Jollof Cafe is a food and mats franchise in Sandton, in Bryanston, in Midrand, in Rampart, and Fourways. So before coming into politics, we have demonstrated our acumen business-wise in business, and now we're in politics because we believe we can bring the same economic prosperity that we have been able to achieve in the private sector to the good people of South Africa. And I have been chosen as their representative to lead them into the future and to bring the prosperity that our leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, had promised Nigerians home and abroad. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome to the program. This time, I want to give the floor for Honorable Samuel Ikechukwu Eze. He is the chairman of Labour Party South Africa. Honorable Eze, welcome to the program. In your own words, who is Honorable Eze?
Thank you very much. My name is Ikechukwu Samuel Eze. I'm the chairman of Labour Party South Africa. I'm a clinical psychologist by profession, and I'm a human development specialist. We assist our people to achieve our career path, working with young people, directing them in the right path, and coming into politics. It didn't just happen. We are all politicians anyway. But when, after the primaries of PDP and our principal, Peter Obi, moved to Labour Party, we came together and decided that it's time to join this man to form a new Nigeria. Because for the past, since 1999 till date, Nigeria is in a quagmire. It's a mess. It's like a dumping ground. And this man came up with so many ideologies, a way to revamp this broken home and change it to something that is worthy of emulation for our future kids, for our own future, and for the unborn generation of Nigerians. So we are here for a new Nigeria. We are here to bring Nigeria back to the glory days. And that is what Labour Party stands for. And the man at the helm of the affair, His Excellency Peter Obi, has proven that he's capable of doing this job from his past records to what he has been proving recently. I mean, it's there for everyone to see. So we're here for a new Nigeria. That's what Labour Party stands for, and that's what we're working for. And we know that come 2023, which we are in right now, in a few days, this reality will become no more a dream, but a reality, and Nigeria will have a better scope. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. You're welcome to the program. Okay, if you look at this election, we have 18 political parties on the race. And there is a lot of accusations here and there. Out of those 18 political parties and 18 contenders for the seat.
Yes, I'm on.
For the seat of government, yes, for the seat of presidency, we have 3 main contenders, and they are His Excellency Peter Obi, His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. These are the 3 people in the front line of this race as it is today. For us to face the reality, that's the reality we have on ground. But we have an issue now. The issue is that these 3 people have been accused of misconduct in one way or the other. And the question is, that the question Nigerians are asking at the moment is that, can we get a credible candidate out of this 3 come February 2023? Is there any way we can get anything good out of these 3 people that have been accused of one misconduct or the other? Because the state at which Nigeria is now, Nigeria needs a credible individual to deliver her out of the quagmire where it has found itself. Now, I want to leave that question to the APC chairperson in South Africa, Honorable Oyekami. What's your view on what I've just said now?
Thank you very much, Prof. You have just asked a question that forms the core of our manifesto. Our manifesto, if properly analyzed and dissected, rests on few very important variables. And what people, Nigerians, yearn for with every blood in their vein. 1, good governance. What do you mean by good governance? It is delivering the dividend of democracy, improving the lives of our people, home and abroad. It is peace building, being accountable, being inclusive in all that you do. And lastly, it is experience to deliver. One of my great mentors, Tony Elumelu, will say that there are 3 things that forms that good governance acts on. 1 is the idea. Once you have an idea that is strong, your power to execute that idea and execute them excellently. I said those are the cardinals of good governance. And you cannot prefer good governance if you do not have the experience or you've not demonstrated experience in previous platform. When I was introducing myself, I said, I've demonstrated myself. Currently, Jollof Cafe employs over 50 people in South Africa. So when I come to you and I say that I can create economic prosperity, you should not have doubt, because at the private sector level, we are creating jobs, we are feeding families, we are connecting children to schools, we are bringing joy to people's homes by way of providing livelihood for them. And because of our experience in that regard, we have come into politics believing that at the macro level, we can achieve good governance for our people. So, your question, the only candidate in this race is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And not because his experience is second to none, but his antecedent. If you give me time, I can reel out his antecedent when it comes to good governance, when it comes to bringing peace. Nigeria is at the pivotal point where we do not need leaders who do not understand the DNA of Nigeria, who cannot connect the dots, who cannot bring peace. There are agitation everywhere in the country, just like it used to be in Lagos. But we have been able to turn our misfortune in Lagos within the space less than 20 years into the 5th largest economy in the world. It takes a man that understands peace process, building peace, and the man that understands good governance to deliver that at that level. So
okay, Mr. Sorry, Honorable Ekami. You know, you are mentioning Lagos, and that reminds me of the claims of APC, because we're in open discussion here, Nigerians are listening. Because APC is laying claim to have developed Lagos, and you are now again mentioning Lagos again on this platform. On that, I want to ask you before you proceed, is this Lagos claim not a hypothesis that has not been tested? Because Nigerians are what they're asking them questions. How? Where is it? How did you develop Lagos? Because everything cannot be laying claim of developing Lagos. Because I live in Lagos, for instance. I mean, we know how Lagos is structured, is being structured. So I'm still looking at that as a hypothesis that have not been tested by Nigerians until it is proven. Because I don't think APC has any proof that they built Lagos.
Now, very well. I like your question. I was going to crave your indulgence, so please allow me some 5 minutes to lay a very good background for my argument and for why Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the only candidate credible and ready on day one to move Nigeria to maximum and the economic prosperity that we Nigerians currently yearn for. When you talk about good governance, we are in the business of creating an environment that strives, that encourages the citizens to be the best that they can be. And Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Lagos at its where, was the first governor in the history of Nigeria that started what is called the Economic Summit that ushered in the prosperity that Lagos currently enjoys. That is one avenue to bring local foreign direct investment into Lagos. That economic summit created an opportunity for foreign investors, local investors, the Dangotes of this world, and something that you can use, which is not just a summit, something that came out from those engagements, is the free trade zone, the largest refinery in the world, the free trade zone, the Lekki airport, amongst other projects that we are going to talk about. So economic prosperity was a direct correlation to the economic summit that was championed by our leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while he was the governor of Lagos State. And very importantly is, like I said, government is in the business of creating an enabling environment. Lagos, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the first governor and the only governor that started a single treasury account. And it was geared at promoting good governance. In fact, as I speak to you, it was after Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu created the single treasury account that the federal government of Nigeria had to adopt that, because they saw that as a veritable template that could promote good governance, promote transparency, promote accountability. That is what good governance means when we talk about that. Another important thing I want to bring to you is that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the first and only government project to boost power supply in Lagos. Nobody, not even Atiku in Adamawa is in their state. Anambra is in their state. But Lagos State, under the leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, invited foreign investors, initiated in the Independent Power Project to boost power supply and to encourage business in Lagos. That is what we call good governance. Another very important thing I'd like to bring to you is that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the only governor and the first governor to bring about what is called the digital economy in Lagos State. What do you mean by digital economy? Lagos, before Asiwaju came into office, used to generate a mere 600 million. Right now, Lagos in the range of billions, generating billions. The business of government is to increase revenue through internally generated mechanisms. Through digitalizing Lagos, right now, Lagos is at the forefront of generating billions of naira in tax revenue monthly. I beg your pardon to go to Yaba. One of the things that Asiwaju did was to create an enabling environment for digitalization of Lagos through the creation of the technological hub in Lagos. And I used to say something, it is not creating, it is what has resulted from the policies and programs that the government has initiated. I can tell you like 3 companies. One is Flutterware. Flutterware started from Yaba as part of the byproduct of the digital economy of Lagos. Flutterware right now is $1 billion company that started from Yaba, Lagos. Another very important company that I can tell you is Andela. Andela right now is a direct contractor to Silicon Valley, raising talent, harvesting talent from Lagos, Nigeria to foreign silicon company. I can name so many companies that has come out from the Yaba technological hub, which are direct correlation to the digital economy that we're talking about here. So when you talk about good governance, we are talking about a governor, a former governor, our leader, met 20 local governments. He created 37 local governments. Even when the federal government said, do not create more local government, he said, no. Politics is about touching the lives of the people. If you are not going to allow me to create local government, I will create local council development areas so that the dividend of democracy can get to the people, to the grassroots. As small as Lagos, Lagos has over 37 local government development areas. And what are the reasons for this? It is so that the dividend of democracy can touch everybody. Prosperity can touch everybody. I'm also going to go further to say that, hold on, sir. I'm also letting you know that Lagos State under Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu was the first governor to institute, in this Fourth Republic, to institute free education. That is what good governance. Some of us benefited from the free education of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu by paying for NECO and WAECRI for all Lagosians. Those who are Lagosians are not. And another important thing I want to bring to you, sir, in order to detribalize Nigeria. In fact, as I tell you, one of the Minister of Economic Planning in Lagos is a man from Anambra. Go to the cabinet of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He never developed his cabinet along tribal lines. He developed his cabinet along competency. And whoever you are, wherever part of Nigeria you are, as long as you can demonstrate your capacity, Asiwaju will give such a man an opportunity. That is the type of leader we want, a detribalized Nigeria. When I have other opportunities, I will give you other things that makes Asiwaju the only candidate, the most viable, the leader of all leaders, the ones that Atiku and Peter Obi are taking note from on how to run a government that works for the people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Toyin.
I think
you just now. When you come back, I will do that. Okay, before we proceed, before I leave the floor for the Labour Chairperson, South Africa, Honorable Samuel Ikechukwu, I would like to introduce Honorable Gozio Irebuli. Irebuli is here. He's part of this discussion. He's an economist and leadership and policy scholar. So he'll be talking more on the side of the PDP. So Honorable, you are welcome to the program. I'll give you your time when the time comes, but this time let me direct the same question to Honorable Samuel Ikechukwu Eze, the chairperson of Labour Party South Africa. We are looking at credibility. Nigerians are asking for quality leadership. They want to see dividends of democracy. You think your candidate has what it takes to overturn the predicament of Nigerians at this point and do the impossible? Nigerians need a miracle worker now and a leader and a manager at the same time. Can we find that in His Excellency, Honorable Peter Obi, your candidate?
Yes, thank you, Prof. You see, too much talk, but what we believe is the action that is represented within the people. It's not about policies. But let me start by Peter Obi. He's a man, he's a businessman who started merely as a person, built his empire, became a one-time governor 2 terms. Now, let me go back to Anambra State, because when we talk about companies, this, that, we talk about what we see and evidence, proofs of what is being practiced and what we can see from the individuals living it. It's not about too many talks, but I just go to the point. This is a man who believes in harnessing. You see, this is a Nigeria at this point in time needs salvation. And salvation is not talk, it's practicality. If you go to Anambra State today, till tomorrow, Anambra State, from the inception of Peter Obi as the governor, maintained the best, they have been producing the best students academically in Nigeria, no challenge. They came first every year. During the strike, ASU strike, Anambra University were the only one that their graduates, their students completed at the right time. You go to education, now let's talk about health. Anambra State, he built a standardized health system in Anambra State, collating from the churches, the religious groups, the hospitals, and bringing everybody into parity so that things can work. The man in the village, his children is going to school and have a quality education because there is means of transportation. The only governor that shared buses to every secondary school in his state. Let me leave that. Let's talk about pensions. We talk about Lagos State. A lot of pensioners are dying every day because their pensions are old. We don't talk about what we see in paper. We talk about practicality. What is it happening? This is a governor that ensured up to date that he has not taken any pension from the state since he left office. This is the only governor that does not collect anything from the government since he stepped out of the office because he knows it is wrong. Those people are using institutionalized system to steal and rob the masses blind, and it's been going on for the past 30 years. This guy set a precedent whereby everything he's due is on record, is transparent. From leaving the office, the money he left for Anambra State is on record. Nobody else left money for the government living. It's always in deficit. This is the only government that left it. The only governor that did that. And the record is there for all to see. This is the only governor that picked up education, returned the system back to where it is working, to the schools, return schools, some schools back to the churches. And they are still working till today. And that's why Anambra is producing the best students in the whole of the country. Till tomorrow, they are number one. It's unquestionable. You go to transparency in government, accountability. He instituted it in Anambra and it's still working. People are getting their salary when they're supposed to get their salary. Pensioners are being paid. He went to a church to pray. And a woman, a pensioner in church, refused to allow him to come into the church because they're paying him pension. He just started as a... And he had to go back to find out why this woman is pursuing him out of the church. And the woman told him that you people have been eating. I worked for the government for years and nobody is paying me my pension. My gratuity is not paid. He said no. He went back to the record and he found that there are so many other citizens like this woman languishing that have served the nation for years. But some individuals are sitting on their gratuity salaries. What did he do? He made out, he sought the woman out. He made out, he settled every single individual in Anambra that is being owed gratuity, and he paid pension as and when due. These records are not just paper, they are facts, they are attested to. This is a man who believes that there will be food sufficiency for every individual in Nigeria. We cannot go anywhere until people can eat and feed their belly. Otherwise, crime will continuously be on the increase. What is the plan? This is a man that believes in changing the economy from consumption to. He practiced it in Anambra. He worked. They were producing enough for the state, and they were selling to other states.
Okay,
and this is a replica of what is coming to our country.
Before you continue, I would like to interject you a little bit. Now, Nigerians have been hearing all these feats by these candidates. But we as Nigerians, all Nigerians in general, are still having hard time to live in their country because there is insecurity in Nigeria. Whatever feat Asiwaju achieved during his governorship era, it was in Lagos State. And the same thing applies to Honorable Peter Obi, His Excellency. Now, the question now is, this question I'm going to direct to every one of you this afternoon. These candidates, do they have the tendency, the capacity, the willpower, the political will, the integrity, the personality, what it takes, the foresight, the vision to carry that same fire to the rest of Nigeria? We have Nigeria is not Anambra State. Nigeria is not Lagos State. Lagos State is just a small portion of Nigeria. The same applies to Anambra State. Can they carry this same momentum and spread it all across Nigeria? Because there is insecurity, as I speak, in every quarter of that nation, that country. And it seems presently the present government has lost its grip over the fight over insecurity. So now we need a candidate that will not just do something in his region, but will look at Nigeria as a field and explore the country and come up with strategy on how to put Nigeria back into the world map, because we lost it everywhere. Economically, Nigeria have lost it structurally and otherwise. So we can't just be emphasizing on what is done in a particular state. Nigeria is a big country with many languages. Nigeria has many nations, and yet is a country. So we need a candidate that will be able to do that in Nigeria at this point. So my question is,
Prof,
your candidate, yes. Okay, go on. Will your candidate be able to do that?
Let me not cut you off so that you don't go overboard. Let us look at what has happened within the past 8 months. When you want to do something, you want to do it right. And what do? This man, I call him this young man because out of the three, I think he's not wearing pampers anyway. But let us look at this. This is a man that just for the past 8 months, right? He has demonstrated what we call capability. He has demonstrated vision. He has demonstrated credibility. What did he do? Nigeria is a quagmire. It's in a mess. Security, you can't travel from Enugu to Abuja. You can't go from Lagos to Ibadan without being attacked. Then everywhere is in darkness. He first went to Egypt. Egypt have the best in the world as we talk today. To look at what they are doing. How did they get that? He went there. He saw what they're doing. He came back. This guy has practically traversed the world in the past 8 months, seeking solutions for a country that is dear to his heart. Why is there insecurity in Nigeria? He goes here, held meetings, seeking ideas on how to solve the problems of Nigeria. He wasn't traveling around to go and have parties. He was going to countries that might have had the issues Nigeria had before. He have meetings seeking solutions. Security matters is what we talk on national television like this. But if you hear his statement, he says security must be dealt decisively. No joke. It's not about they kidnapped 20 people in a train and the government has not said anything in the past 1 week. And the same government are projecting candidates that cannot even secure themselves to come and contest again. Come on, we are Nigerians. Are we crazy?
Sorry,
This guy has held meetings. No, I'm coming. I didn't interject when you were talking. I'm coming. Now, this is a man who have sought solutions, sought visions from other credible individuals. It's no man knows it all. And that is the problem that put Nigeria where we were, because people come and talk too much. When they finish talking, all they're waiting for is the money that goes to their coffers. If a few days ago, there's an issue with the CBN governor and his group, over 150 billion, is circulating everywhere. And we are still talking about the same government coming into power to do what? This guy has gone around. Let's start with technology, for instance. I know he has visited 2 plants. These are the best in the world, to understand what they did to come to that level. People thought he was joking, but this is a man preparing to lead a nation and lead them well. You must be prepared. You must not be in your sickbed in London and coming back to say you want to rule Nigeria. It doesn't work. You must seek solutions from other nations that have gone through what you're going through to understand what you need to do to become practical. So I will not stress this matter much, but the thing is that the world have seen that this guy has the credibility, he has the strength, he has the energy, he has the health, and he has the intelligence to see and seek and solve the problems of Nigeria. So I will end this matter here.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
I'm coming to you now, the APC chairman. I'll come back to you shortly because the third person, I believe, is back. I just want to welcome him properly. I hope, Honorable Koze Irebole, you are back? Are you there?
Yes, I'm back. Thank you.
You are welcome. Now, before I go back to the NDC chairperson, I would like to have your view on this same issue because we have 18 political parties running for this race. But at the moment, we have 3 main political parties and 3 highly contested contestants, let me put it that way, that are in the forefront. Now, the question is your candidate on the side of the PDP the person Nigerians are looking at to change the state of the country at the moment? Does he have what it takes to take Nigeria out of where it is at the moment to where the world wants to embrace Nigeria, or the world will embrace Nigeria? Are you still there?
Okay. If I hear you correctly, you want to know if my candidate has what it takes to move Nigeria to where we desire to be, right?
Yes.
Is that your question?
Yes, sir. In terms of credibility.
In terms of credibility. Okay.
Yes,
I have, before you added me, I've been listening to the discussion. I had what the man in Labour Party said. I had the one in APC said. I will tell you, I am not attached to any political party, but I am a political enthusiast, if you like to call it that way. As a public policy analyst, I show interest in politics because politics is more or less like the superstructure. Politics determines so many things, the way the nation will go. We are suffering today in this country because we are blind to reality. We kept quiet and allow impostors forced bad leadership on us. So I will not tell you point blank, this is my candidate, but I think I will respond to 1 or 2 things about what they said. Like in our previous interview, I was able to point out the expectations of Nigerians. The current regime has bastardized the nation in so many dimensions. There's no peace, there's no national unity. National unity is destroyed, the economy is destabilized, everything is in a state of topsy-turvy. And people are crying, people are craving for positive change. So Nigerians are looking for somebody who is capable, competent, somebody who is committed, somebody who is patriotic, a statesmanly person that will move us from where we are now at the brink to where we desire to be. Yes, I listened to the presentation from the man from APC, and I think most of the things he said, raised a lot of doubt. First of all, he mentioned manifesto. Manifesto, APC regime is not known to keep his words. Yes, I have to tell him that, and he had to defend it. In 2015, when they were campaigning, all the promises they made, they never kept it. They never kept it. For instance, the issue of restructuring was number 2 item in their manifesto. But when they came to power, Nigerians raised the issue, they debunked it. So how do we trust a government like that? Especially now that their candidate is telling Nigerians that they are coming to continue the good work of the present regime. And I ask, what is the good work? What are they coming to implement? To me, it's marks of so many things: insincerity or false notion about governance. If you say the government that everybody believes have not done well has done well, that means you're either insincere or you have false notion about governance. That's one. And he talked about inclusion. Can you tell me what is inclusive about this present government? There's nothing inclusive about the government. There's no gender inclusion, there is no youth inclusion, there is no spatial inclusion. It's all one sectional government. And that is why
I think we lost him. Okay, at the moment, we're going to go on a break.
unity is factionalized. That's why Nigerians are crying. Nigeria wants an inclusive.
It's back. It's all right.
You hear me?
You can go on. You can hear me.
The current regime cannot give us inclusive government. And from the look of things, look at the APC structure. Look at the APC structure. The president is not a Muslim. President of Senate, not Muslim. Speaker, Southwest Muslim. VP, Southwest Christian. Look at the political, the security structure, the judiciary. Everything is one-sided. They do not take our multiculturality into consideration. And the man coming from the party saying that it's going to continue the same way. How do we take them seriously? Then the second claim he made mention about his candidate building Lagos. To me, that is the most absurd claim in Nigerian political history. Nobody built Lagos. I lived in Lagos for 17 years. I attended University of Lagos. If you take record of those that govern,
I think we lost him again. Okay. At this point, I would like us to go for
But I think you should allow me
the man he mentioned contributed least.
Let me respond to this question before we go on a break, so that when we come back, we can pick on another topic.
No, we'll come back. Don't worry. I'll give you all the time.
Yeah.
so that
Yeah, please.
I'm still on. Can you
I
hear
think
me?
he's still talking. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So let me when I finish with him, I will address the man from Labour Party too. So
okay, go ahead.
the claims are all spurious. If you ask me, he said if the man started the first economic summit in Nigeria, that is a complete fallacy. Economic summit has been on in this country right from the time of Babangida, Shoneko. Nigeria have been having yearly economic summit. Then you mentioned free trade zone. We have had free trade zones and economic processing zone right from the time of IBB. Never started with Tinubu. That is wrong. And if I may add, he mentioned something about developing Lagos educationally. That is also not true. That's not true. Jakande will remember built LASU. Jakande built LASU Tech. Jakande built the cluster of schools in Lagos. Jakande identified the fact that Lagos was educational disadvantage. Tinubu came, made Lagos an educational disadvantage state, and left Lagos as educational disadvantage state. Lagos today have the highest hall of street urchins. What did Tinubu do to transform the area boys to economic productive agents? Nothing. Rather, he lionized them into a extortion machine, and they've turned Lagos into Lagos residents hostages. So those claims are spurious, if you ask me, and nobody's going to take them serious. And they mentioned about the Tinubu economic model. Let me tell you, The first Minister of Finance appointed by Buhari was one of the nominees from Tinubu, Mrs. Adoshu. Adoshu told Nigerians that they adopted Lagos economic model. And 6 months after, that model threw Nigerian economy into recession, which we never recovered till today. So Lagos is more or less living like a rentier economy. There is no reproduction. They are collecting rent from people who came to Lagos as a result of federal government installation, warehouse in Lagos. There's no conscious plan or conscious structure put in place by those who claim to own Lagos. Everything that lure people, that drew people that are responsible for demographic gravitation in Lagos were provided by federal government. None came from Tinubu. So such claims should be debunked. It is spurious and it is misleading. So Nigerians will not be misled into believing that. That is one. The demand for P2B, well, I listened to you. What you said are not far from the truth. Nigeria actually needed a change, a breath of fresh air, a deviation from the norm, a deviation from what we have always seen. And that is what everybody is craving for. Yes, I'm not rooting for P2B. I know, yes, he has so many things speaking for him. The youth movement, people were routing for him, but then he still has some other obstacles to overcome. And that is what people are not looking at. The majority of those people rooting for him don't even have PVC. And the people have not addressed that issue. The major political bigwigs in the Southeast region are not working for him. They are rooting for other parties. Call it filial jealousy if you like. That needs to be addressed. His running mate, yes, he's a scholar, but if you look at it from the north where he comes from, he's a political minnow. That may not work in his favor, if you ask me. Then the way Nigeria is structured now, Buhari has created a lot of fear in Nigerians, and his own group, the Fulani people, are feeling vulnerable, that if Buhari leaves, any government that comes in might carry out reprisal action against them. So they are looking for maybe a soft landing. And to them, Obi may not be the right option. Do you understand what I mean? It may not be the right option. Then the corner two are also not comfortable having somebody of Eastern extraction in power at this period, because they still fear, because of the separatist agitation, that putting an Igbo man there might escalate the agitation and may lead to the breakup of the country, which they are fear of. So these are some of the issues I think the obedient movement will also look at before you start think of coasting to victory. These are issues, and it has to be looked at. Nobody has talked about the Atiku factor. Atiku factor, you can't wish it away. Atiku factor, you cannot wish it away. He's in a class of his own. He still have structures and large following across in every nook and cranny of the country. Most politicians are rooting for him. We may not be distracted by the activities of the G5 we have in PDP to think that he can wish him away. No, it's still a force to reckon with. Still a force to reckon with. So the battle as it is now, we cannot tell exactly where the pendulum is swinging. The APC people are not banking on the performance of the government in power because they perform woefully. They are banking on the fact that they are banking on power of incumbency. They are banking on the fact that they have about 23 governors from APC. But that to me may not work in their favor. The obedient movement is banking on a popular movement. most of those populist movement, those popular movements are not even have PVC. Then some of them are dismissing article, but article is a factor you cannot dismiss. We may talk about that later. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, at this point, before I'll go back to the APC chairperson to either respond or carry on with the next line of question, we have to go on break. It's still the Afro Politics panel discussion on Kebna TV in diaspora. I'm your host, AJ Oba is my name, and we have today Honorable Gozie Iroboli. He's economics and leadership and political scholar. That's his position. That's why he's taking us through this dimension of analysis. And also we have Honorable Samuel Ikechukwu Eze. He is the chairman of Labour Party South Africa. And also his counterpart, Otumba Honorable Toyin Oyekami, who is the chairman of APC South Africa. So that's it, guys. And we'll come back and we'll continue the discussion. It's a hot one this afternoon. Let's go for a break.
Clevenard in Diaspora Television is an internet online TV service. What sets us apart is a unique combination of hit African content, first and exclusive international free movies, series, musics, news, events, documentaries, tourism, teleshopping shows, youth TV programs, and live interviews. Clevenard Diaspora Television is available throughout sub-Saharan Africa and to the diaspora markets worldwide. Take your entertainment with you wherever you go. Watch on your smartphone, tablet, laptop, smart TV, depending on your device. Watch free movies with Clevenard Movies Television. Stop searching for free movies websites and watch Clevenard Movies Television. Watch your favorite African shows anywhere at any time. Don't forget to check out our top 5 TV channels created to get you informed. TV1, Clevenard in Diaspora Television. TV2, Clevenard Youth Television. TV3, Clevenard Movies Television. TV4, Clevenard Teleshopping Television. TV5, Clevenard Tourism Television. To start watching, sign up at www.clevenard.com and follow the easy steps. Once you're done, log into the Clevenard website or app on your device, click on any one of our 5 TV channels, and hit play. We will be very satisfied and happy to welcome you to our team as one of our new business partners. Contact info@clevenard.com +34 631 279811. Website www.clevenard.com.
Hello viewers, welcome back. It's still on Afro Politics panel discussion on Kebna TV in diaspora. My name is AJ Oba, I'm your host this afternoon. This afternoon we have a couple of guests here. We have Honorable Gozie Iroboli. He's an economics, leadership and policy scholar. And also we have Honorable Samuel Ikechukwu Eze, Chairman, Labour Party South Africa. And his counterpart, Otumba Honorable Toyin Oyekami, Chairman, APC South Africa. And the topic is Analyzing Nigeria General Election 2023. You're welcome back. At this point, before I go to the APC chairperson, I would like to know whether you'll be responding or you'll be following the question, the next line of question. It's up to you. But my next line of question is, what will any candidate do differently considering the state of Nigeria at this point that will convince any reasonable Nigerian to cast his or her vote for that candidate? You can go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think I didn't know I was in a debate with the obedient all through, but it's okay. I thought you were going to bring another candidate from the PDP to come have a conversation, because I consider the PDP as the more viable opponent in this race, not the obedient people. But that said, let me talk briefly on what the question you ask. And I always say something that when you go for when you go for a job interview, as an employer of labor that I am, I'm more concerned about your experience, not what you want to do. Because if I'm going to give you a job to be the managing director of my company, I want to be sure that for you to manage your love cafe, you have probably worked in Nando's, you have worked in KFC, you have experience. Then I can trust all that you are saying, and that will not be an HR error. But that said, you talked about insecurity, and when I started my conversation, I mentioned two things that makes our leader the most viable opponent in this race. I talked about good governance, and I've talked about the indices of good governance that we can relate to in his past experience, that at the macro level, if adopted, we achieve economic prosperity, we bring down inflation to single digits, and then Nigeria will be on a trajectory to compete with Russia and America when it comes to supplying gas to Europe and competing in the global economy. And I've mentioned to you about the largest refinery in the world, which is a direct correlation to economic prosperity of Lagos. I've mentioned to you about the airport, Lekki Airport, the cargo airport. I've mentioned the free trade zone. I've mentioned the light rail. I've mentioned the tax administration. I've mentioned the digitalization of Lagos State. I even mentioned to you that the telecommunication that we enjoy today was brought about by our leader, Asiwaju, through the Econet to change the landscape of Nigeria. I've mentioned to you about the free education and touching the lives of the grassroots to local development areas. But talking about security, which is another very important variable in considering who is going to be the managing director of Nigeria. What have you done at a macro level, at a micro level, to improve security? I remember when our leader came into office, one of the things he did when he came to Lagos was to initiate a project called, before I go into that, our leader used to say something. Our security, how to address Nigerian security is pivotal, rests on four cardinal variables. One is detribalization. Our leader remains the only leader who understands that if there is an inclusion, if everybody is brought to the table, everybody is a stakeholder in the project Nigeria, there won't be any incentive to have militancy, to have all Boko Haram and all that, because everybody is a stakeholder. But when everybody is not a stakeholder, then they will have reasons to set up a parallel government or parallel institution to challenge and fight for their rights. That is one of the core reasons why there's so much insecurity in Nigeria, why we have the IPOP, because they feel they are not being included, why we have the Boko Haram, why we have the militancy, why we have the banditry. Everything rests on the fact that if you do not feel you are included, you are a stakeholder in a company, you will not have every reason to protect that company. And our leader has demonstrated that in his government. He had Igbo leader managing our economy, Kabweze from Anambra. He had people from the northern extraction. He had people from the western extraction. Our leader has shown at the micro level that a way to solve the economy, the security challenge of Nigeria is to make everybody a stakeholder, which he has done by making all his ministers come from different places or from region in Nigeria. Another thing our leader has demonstrated as a veritable tool to addressing insecurity in Nigeria, besides being detribalized in government formation, is religion. And our leader has shown to you that charity begins at home. Our leader is a Muslim. His wife is a Christian, a pastor of one of the largest Pentecostal church in the world, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, under the leadership of E.A. Adeboye. His wife of many years is a Christian. All his kids are Christian. Our leader has demonstrated to you that religion tolerance will solve insecurity in Nigeria. Why is Boko Haram fighting? Because they want to be included. They want to have a stake. And our leader has shown to you that I am ready to work for everybody as far as the project Nigeria is. You look at my house, look at the way I'm managing my home, where I'm a Muslim and my wife is a Christian, and look at how, with that, you can know how I'm going to manage Nigeria at the macro level. Even if you look at the micro level in Lagos, the composition of Lagos states is detribalized, and it has religious inclusion. Everybody is involved, both the traditionalists, the Muslims, and Christian. When it comes to governance, religion cannot be any role. And if religion does not play a role, everybody is included. Everybody will become a stakeholder, and they will have the interest. The peace will become a cardinal point and interest of everybody. Our leader has demonstrated that being tolerant in terms of in religion and in tribe will make the issue of insecurity in Nigeria a thing of the past. And our leader has also demonstrated that you need to put in place strong security architecture. And what has it done is not by what I'm going to do, like the obedient will say. We are not waiting for a Messiah. We are our own Messiah. And we are only going to choose our leader from their experience and what they have demonstrated at the macro level and micro level. I was chosen as the leader of this team because of what I've done in the private sector level. So my experience being an employer of labor, creating economic prosperity for Nigerians in South Africa, has given me an opportunity to represent my people. And that is what will happen at the government level. And what our leader is saying, that if you look at the Rapid Response Squad that was initiated in 1999, immediately he came into office. Oshodi was no place to be. You cannot go to Oshodi. You cannot go to Mushi. There are so many insecurity in Lagos. Our leader created what is called a Rapid Response Squad. He created LASMA. He created other wonderful security initiative to organize the area boys, to organize insecurity. If at a time in Lagos, you will find dead bodies on the road. But through the security architecture of our leader, which was championed by the Rapid Response Squad, Lagos was able to work in conjunction with the police, with the army, with the security state service, and then intelligence gathering was extremely pivotal in solving the insecurity in Lagos. So what am I saying is that if you can bring everybody to the table, when everybody's religion is represented in government, when all tribes are represented in government, when the security architecture is up to par, intelligence gathering is up to par, the right equipment is up to par, helicopters, waterways, everything is in order. Trust me, we have demonstrated that in Lagos, and we are going to demonstrate that. What we have done in Lagos is not saying that what is the best. What we are saying is that we have demonstrated with the little resources, even when we were not receiving a dime from the federal government, because we were trying to create local government development areas so that the people of Lagos in the grassroots can democracy, the dividend of democracy can touch them. But the wickedness of the PDP, they denied us our monthly allocation because we were trying to touch the lives of the local people. We have demonstrated that we could do so much with the little resources that we have. We have demonstrated in our ability to to generate revenue internally and to solve the problems of Nigeria. We have demonstrated that we can attract foreign investment, local investment. The biggest refinery in the world will be commissioned on the 24th and 25th by President Muhammadu Buhari. That is a direct correlation to the economic prosperity that our leader has brought. Governance is about policies and programs. But governance is about creating an enabling environment. And it is not about working with church leaders or working where, no, create an enabling environment. Create the right policies, create the right framework, create the ease of doing business, and let the people, Nigerians, use their ingenuity to create wealth for themselves. That is what has been demonstrated in Singapore, in America, in London, and among other developed countries in the world. Government is not in that place of government is in the business of good governance, creating an enabling environment, peaceful environment, and let the people flourish. I cannot overemphasize my point.
Thank you so
We
much.
are not competing with Atiku. Are we competing with PDP? I'm sure my leader will look for ways to engage Peter Obi as an economic minister or wherever he can to bring him into government, like we brought our Commissioner of Finance in Lagos, so that we can engage him with the little idea that he has, which are ideas, not tested and proven hypotheses or theories. Thank you for now.
Thank you so much. You raised your opinion, and I've picked some points from what you've said. In your own opinion, you believe that looking at the micro level of what His Excellency Honorable Ahmed Ashwaju Bola Tinubu did in the past, that it has what it takes to lead the country. That is in your opinion. Okay, but what I don't agree with you is that you say we are all obedient. I'm not, I'm the anchor to the program.
No. Without you, I'm not referring to you. I'm referring to the two gentlemen who you have brought to speak on this issue. I thought I was going to be talking to a PDP leader and an obedient leader, but I just found out that I was talking to two obedient. So I wanted to be sure about that.
Yes, in what you've said so far also, I also picked up something which is obvious. I also picked up the fact that from your statement, I found out that you reckon with Obi, with His Excellency, Honorable Peter Obi, as a force, because you did mention him a couple of times in your statement, in your opinion. That shows that Obi is a force to reckon with. You cannot rule out the fact that Obi has changed the political landscape of Nigeria. So it seems that's the reason why it seems everywhere people are obedient, just like you said in your own words. And so we can't take that part away from him. He has changed a lot. Now, moving forward, I would like to go back to the obedient now, the obedient proper. Honorable Samuel Ikechukwu, who is the chairman of Labour Party. Honorable Eze, you heard what your counterpart said. My question remains, what is it that your candidate can do differently to salvage Nigeria? We have a decaying economy. We have insecurity, heightened political tension, insecurity, inhuman acts of terrorism is rampant in Nigeria. The upsurge of killing, cold blood murder everywhere. You can name it. So the disheartening synopsis of terrible occurrences in Nigeria is overwhelming. What is it that your candidate can do differently at this point?
One thing that Nigeria needs is a leader who have empathy for the populace. And we talk about all-inclusive governance. That is where you start streamlining the cohesion between individuals. What he has demonstrated so far is that he is not detribalized. He is not tribalized. He is fully detribalized. He has visited every nook and corners. Let us start with the flood incident in Nigeria. The government were sitting in their houses, in their big mansions. Nobody cared about those people who the floods were ravaging their houses. Everybody was busy campaigning, telling Nigerians promises that have been given them for the past 8 years that none was fulfilled. But he abandoned campaign. He practically stopped campaigning. To do what? To go to empathize with his citizens, with the people. What is a government without the populace? It's all inclusive. He left his house. He left his mansion. He rolled his trousers. He went into the flood to understand the pain and to also do what? To seek the solution so that this event cannot happen again. Why won't you have insecurity when the poor masses are starving? When a hungry man, if you have 2-3 kids now, and you cannot provide for your kids daily meal, what would you do? You will steal to make sure that you fend for your family. This is a man that left his comfort zone to go and be with the people. When they kidnap people, when they shoot people, he leaves his house to go and understand what is happening. You cannot fight insecurity sitting in your mansion and saying, I'm sending the soldiers or the army, I'm sending... What's happened in Lagos is what we call pure thuggery. You used talk to suppress the other talk. It's the power of the might. It wasn't about practicing or solving the security challenges. Lagos State is the worst state in Nigeria as far as security or insecurity is concerned. Let's leave the Boko Haram issue. Let's talk about the ordinary man. Lagos is a place you get off the bus now, they rob you at gunpoint and everybody's walking away. So what is that? Is it insecurity or security? Look, I am not P2B. Nobody is a saint. But what we are holding on to is the saint we can see. The people, someone that have done something that's practical, that we can see that, yes, this person is showing that he is able to do this. Not sitting in your house and talking and giving us laid facts that are false. I don't believe in that. I believe in the practicality of what this man has done. I am not here to talk about the security meetings that has been held, both in and outside Nigeria, discussing challenges and Nigerian problem. But I am talking about the practical things he has done. He was in the IDC. He interacted with these people on Christmas Day, understanding their places, where they come from, knowing how Boko Haram even get into their communities, what is happening there. He wasn't hearing it as a second-class information. He heard from the people that suffered these pains. This is a man who have empathy for every situation that is going wrong in our country. And his word, which he has said constantly, is that security must be dealt with decisively. Insecurity must be dealt with decisively. He's not saying that because he wants to come to the campaign floor to explain his security apparatus. No. But he said that because he already have plan and knew what to do. He keeps saying, he said, I know what to do to stop the security system, insecurity in Nigeria. He never minced his word. He keep repeating that. It's telling you that I am studying the situation. I am meeting the people that have suffered the pains of insecurity. And I understand where this whole thing is coming from. Nigeria is a blueprint, but you need to understand it. It's not about quoting facts and figures that are false, laying claims. Nobody will use Lagos as an example of where there's security. Look at what the Igbos are suffering in Lagos. Till today, the Igbos are denied from collecting their voter's card. Why? That is politics of calumny. It's only APC billboard everywhere in Lagos. No single Labour Party billboard. Are we still in the same country? So we cannot but allow this man to lead Nigeria to a fresh air, to a new phase, because he has demonstrated that he's the only one with the ability and capability at this point in time to do something that is practical, that we're all seeing. Let us take, for instance, yes, Gozie talked about converting votes, the masses, into votes that are countable. We are doing that. Labour Party started as a no force. Where we are today should be commendable. From nowhere to where we are today, becoming a driving force. Sorry. We are becoming a driving force in the affairs of the politics of Nigeria. No other party. In fact, in the section of politics in Africa, it has never happened that within 8 months, a known political party stood up, came out, and took the forces and became the most challenging political party in a country like Nigeria. It has never happened. Whether we agree or not, whether we want to accept the truth or not, the thing is that Labour Party has come to stay. And funny enough, Labour Party want to harness the spirit to start building a fairer, greener future for everyone in Nigeria. And that is what we are for, because it is our country. This is a government of all inclusiveness. Whether you're a barrel pusher, you are crawling on the ground, you are at the top. It's a government for the people, by the people. It is nothing more than that. And when you have that, insecurity will go, because you will have food sufficiency. You will have energy. And when you have electricity, you create jobs. The man that is a welder will not be buying generator to weld. This is what Labour Party is bringing on board. A government where it is no more for consumption. Nigeria is living hand to mouth because they borrow money, they buy food. It doesn't even get to the masses. And it's sitting in individual coffers that are stashed outside the country again, and the masses are suffering and dying every day. The accountant general, 89 billion, and nobody is talking about it. It came out to the news, it disappears again. Where are we? And we are talking about bringing the same government back to power, and somebody is saying, I want to continue where Buhari left off. What are you continuing? A dead economy. I even pity Peter Obi coming into this power because he's going in there to meet an empty coffers to start rebuilding a nation that is dead. So the insecurity we're talking about is when you have the masses. Let us be very factful. The insecurity that we're talking about are brought by APC. Let's not forget that. The Fulani herdsmen that are everywhere are their handwork. So, and we want them to continue so that by the time we realize this, the whole country will be wiped out. No way. So it is time to change the narrative. It is time to bring in a man who understands and who is empathetic to the problems, the pains of the common man. It's not about, like he talked about his entrepreneur. No, we are talking about this man that is selling granite. And he comes out, and one idiot comes and says, you must pay me 500 naira before you sell granite. And meanwhile, he's carrying a granite that is worth 300 naira. Or somebody says, you must pay 500 naira to support my candidate. For what? Nigeria says that this is our time. This is our own government. This is not, we are not asking people to bring money or to share money. We are bringing money to make the government do what? Work. And that is why this is a global issue. Every Nigerian all over the world is out to see that he can go home in peace. He can send money to his family and they will eat it in peace. So, much not said, our candidate keep saying it. We're building a Nigeria production to consumption, not consumption to nothing. Food sufficiency, power, security, welfare, education. Nigeria don't know what welfare is. Welfare is being able to assist people who have worked or people who are less privileged to also survive in the society. Nobody talks about that. All we talk about is economic policy. Which economic policy? These avenues, they siphon the money and the common man is sitting down watching and hunger is ravaging them. Somebody works for 30 days. You're paying him 30,000 naira as a minimum wage. Meanwhile, that 30,000 naira will not eat a plate of food for you when you sit in your VI restaurant to eat. And you still owe that same man 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. And you're coming back to tell us that you want to continue where they start. Where did they start or where did they stop? So I wouldn't say much anymore, but I can tell you that one of the driving force of this candidate is that he is empathetic to the position, to the problems, to the pains of an average Nigeria. And when you have that in mind, then you will be able to consider their plight and do what you're supposed to do when you enter the government. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I've listened to you, your own views. You believe that Toby has what it takes to lead this country, lead Nigeria, and to take Nigeria out of the political and economic wobbles it has found itself.
100%.
Coming up with a very strong question I'm going to ask everybody on the platform. That will be the last question I'm going to ask. If you can answer that question, I'll know you are very sincere to yourself. Because this is not about me, it's not about you, it's not about P2B, it's not about Bola Ahmed Tinubu, it's not about Atiku. It's about Nigeria, Nigerians, and the future of unborn Nigerians. Nigerians have suffered so much. Nigerians are crying every day. They want to reap, they want to enjoy the dividends of democracy. Nigerians don't know what it means to have democracy. That's why they're crying. So we need a change, and this time around, a real change. So I would like to see a Nigeria that is workable, where people are licensed and property. are secured. So I will leave the stage for Honorable Gozie to air his view in this regard before I come back for the next line of questions. Honorable Gozie, are you still there?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. What would these people do differently? As a Nigerian, what do you expect? As a Nigerian, what do you expect them to do differently as candidates? Looking at the
people coming to power.
Yes.
Okay. Are you saying people coming to power or anybody coming to power, what you would do differently, right?
Anybody coming to power, because they are all Nigerians. Okay. What are they going to do differently? Yes. That's the question.
Yes. Okay, yes. Yeah, that's a very, 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 very important question. Yes. You see, from the look of things now, we have seen the problem created by the current regime. Nigerians have seen the situation of the country. The economy is in bad shape. National unity is, is not there. The youth are frustrated. The masses are dispirited and disorganized. We are now the laughingstock of all nations. There is high unemployment. We are ready with a high debt burden. Over 103 Nigerians are suffering from multidimensional poverty. And the economic institutions and the political institutions are shaky, are not well, instituted. So an incoming government, as a matter of fact, we have an uphill task trying to, rebuild the country. That's a fact. Because so many things have gone wrong. An uphill task. And anybody coming genuinely to work, we have to change the situation. And to change it, we face stiff opposition. One, because it's going to fight corruption. Over 90% of Nigerian politicians have no other business apart from politics. They survive by stealing from the government. They have developed exotic consumption pattern that cannot be financed outside politics. Some of them live in luxury homes, go medical tourism overseas, ride on fleets of cars. So when you retire them from politics, they'll be taken away from the source of this, corrupt consumption. So they're going to fight back. Any government coming in now will have stiff fight from politicians, even from the same political party. That's if the person coming in is coming to work. If he's coming to work, he's going to face stiff opposition. That is one. So the first thing he's going to do is to clean the audience table. Start minding whose ox is God. Most of those politicians who are corrupt should be pushed out of the way. Then the incoming government, if it's coming to work, will engage technocrats, will engage, experienced hands and professionals who are coming to work. I could recall that in Obasanjo's first tenure, he was having hell of a time because he came in with a military mentality. He was not new. He was new to civil governance. So most of the appointments he made were not professionally made. So in the first tenure, it was a problem for him. In the second tenure, he was now advised to be professionals. And that was when people like Okonjo-Iweala came in. Soludo was made CBN governor to replace the aging Joseph Sanusi. Okonjo-Iweala took over the finance ministry from the old man that was there. And so many changes were made. Things begin to take shape. The economic team, was swung into action. That was why they were able to negotiate our debt reprieve and things like that. So an incoming government is willing to work. First of all, it has to clear the old politicians who have nothing to contribute, engage professionals and technocrats. Then thirdly, there must be stakeholder engagement. And the person that spoke for APC mentioned that, but that was not the way it is. Stakeholder engagement. Every part of the country must be given a sense of belonging. That's the only way unity can be, can be promoted. The incoming government must recognize that Nigeria is a heterogeneous entity, not homogeneous. We have different, we are diverse, socially and culturally. It must be taken into consideration. It won't form an exclusive government and expect other people to be happy. No, nobody is a passenger, nobody is a spectator. We must form an inclusive government, partially, culturally, gender-wise, and age-wise. PDP government did that in their time. They were able to meet the 35% affirmative action on women. There was youth inclusiveness. But this government has not done that. The current government see the youth as lazy. And they see the women as belonging to the other room. At least we had it from the mouth of of somebody in power. And also pronounced that he cannot give, it is unfair for him to be fair to everybody. So, but a government that wants to perform, we see the whole country as its what? Its own constituency, not where it comes from. Your allegiance should be to the constitution and to everybody and not to your ethnic group. Your allegiance should be to the lost empires. Your allegiance should be to the country and to the constitution. So you are not going to implement revanchist and corrosive policies that destabilize the nation. That is what this government did. Incoming government will avoid that completely if it must succeed. Then the incoming government should invest wisely. Invest wisely. Understand the state of the economy, the state of the world, direction of the world. The world is talking about knowledge and connected economy. The world is talking about secular economy. But our present government is busy thinking about the extractive industry, thinking about people of the 19th century. That's why you can spend billions prospecting for oil. Whereas the world is moving away from fossil energy to renewable energy. That means he's still a cake in his thinking. So incoming government must be updated. Incoming government must think about infrastructural development and transformation. Incoming government must think about mobilizing the people. Incoming government must think about civil advocacy, mobilizing the people. You can't mobilize the people without civil advocacy. What this government has done was to stifle civil advocacy. People are intimidated, molested, and blackmailed. Everybody went indoors. People are living in fear. But the government that wants to succeed must open its ear to hear the people. You must hear the people. You must hear the people. That is the only way you can get feedback. If you don't hear the people, you don't get feedback. You'll be living under the illusion that you are doing well, whereas you are not doing well.
Thank you, sir.
Listening to the people, hearing from people, civil advocacy is part of the instrument of democracy. And the incoming government must understand the principles of separation of power. People management. Democracy, leadership is about people, It's not about you. It's not about machine. It's about people. What do people want? People, shared goals, shared prosperity, the people's desire, goal congruence, people engagement. These are the things the incoming government must do to succeed. You don't sit there and think you know it all. You don't sit there and think it must be me, my people. It must be everybody. Stakeholder engagement, inclusive government must be there. This government never did that. And that is why the country is where it is. Then part of the problem, when you have done this, you have solved part of the problem. Problem of insecurity will disappear. Yes, will disappear. You may not even need to invest in arms and ammunition to fight insecurity. When people are satisfied, when people are employed, they will not leave their job and think of going to rob people. When there are facilities provided in rural areas, people will not think about migrating to the urban area to constitute nuisance. So The incoming government must be alive to its responsibility, must listen to the people, must invest correctly, and must again reduce the cost of governance, must understand the principles of separation of power. The government we have now is dictatorial because over 90% of government business is done at the center. If you live in a federal system, it shouldn't be so. There should be concurrent list and a residual list. What's obtainable is over 80% of government items are in the exclusive list. That which makes the man at the center more powerful, which makes him a dictator of a sort. So these are things, the restructuring thing should be there. And that is why some people are rooting for the PDP candidate. Restructuring thing should be there. Power should be devolved to the states, to the regions, to the local government. Power should be devolved to the people. There should be fiscal federalism. The states should be able to use their resources. The state cannot generate revenue, throw it to the center. The center will now distribute the way they like, and making the states looking like mere appendages to the center. It is wrong. The states that are surviving like parastatals under federal government. It's not really a federal system. As we say, unitary system in disguise. So these are the things we should talk about. Incoming government, for the incoming government to reduce ethnic tension, reduce youth restiveness, it must share power with the people. And by the time you do that, you make the center less attractive. The craze, the do or die thing in politics will reduce. So these are some of the things the incoming government must do. And once this thing is done, you see, sometimes you waste time chasing shadow. When you do the right things, all those symptoms that manifest here and there will fizzle out naturally. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Goze Ireboli. That's explicit. There are things we have not looked at, but our times are running out. When I come back, we're going to wrap up this discussion. I'm going to be asking just few critical questions that we'll answer almost at once before we go. It's still the Afro Politics panel discussion on Cleveland TV. My name is AJ Obam, your anchor to this program. We have three gentlemen on the platform this afternoon. Honorable Goze Ireboli is an economist, leadership and policy scholar. He's here this afternoon helping us in this discussion. I also have Honorable Samuel Ikechukwu Eze, who is the chairman of Labour Party South Africa, and his counterpart, the chairman of APC South Africa, Otumba Honorable Toyin Oyekami. He's still on Cleveland TV in diaspora. When we return from break, we'll be wrapping up with this discussion. Stay tuned.
In the 21st century's technological advancement, we all seek opportunities to move and network with the emerging space. Introducing Cleveland blog and event posting. Do you think you have some interesting materials, good content, articles, and stories? Then feel free to publish them on Cleveland blog and events page, just as team of our writers are doing presently. By blogging on Cleveland's blogs and events, you benefit from our reach and network. There are a constant stream of people visiting our social platform, and we have figured out just how to distribute our contents. This means you can basically skip the line and get access to a big audience from day one. Furthermore, we can help you get in touch with important people for projects with possibilities of translating your content into other languages and republishing them on Cleveland. This helps preserve and protect your content from getting lost. What's more, you also get to be part of our team with access to our network and lots of exclusives, behind-the-scenes information. And of course, you get full credit for everything you do, which brings you popularity and make extra income. Sign up now on cleveland.com and start blogging to your advantage. Please see the tutorial video on how to blog or post events on Cleveland Blogs and Events. For more information, contact info@cleveland.com +34 631-279811. Website www.clevenard.com. Clevenard, your blogs, your identity. In the 21st century's technological advancement, we all seek opportunities to move and network with the emerging space. Introducing Clevenard blog and event posting. Do you think you have some interesting materials, good content, articles, and stories? Then feel free to...
Okay, hello viewers, you're back. It's still Afro Politics panel discussion on Clevenard TV in diaspora. My name is Ejioba. I'm your anchor to this program. This afternoon we'll have three gentlemen who are taking us through analyzing Nigerian general election come 2023. That's next month, February to be precise. And we have Honorable Gozie Irembole, who is economist and leadership and policy scholar, who is on this platform this afternoon. We also have on the platform Honorable Samuel Ikechukwu Eze, the chairman of Labour Party South Africa. And we have his counterpart as well, Otumba Honorable Toyin Oyekami. He is the chairman of APC South Africa. Gentlemen, you're welcome back. This point, as we'll be wrapping up this discussion, I want to ask you a critical question. The question is this: in 60 seconds, what are your fears as a Nigerian, as a member of a political party, going into 2023 general election? Let me start with the APC chairperson.
Well, thank you very much. Honorable Gozie has done well. In fact, some of the things he has talked about are more of the progressive ideas, and I will advise that he should consider, being a progressive, because you are speaking the words of progressive and not the radical obedient. Now, and also let me mention quickly that politics is not media charade. Visiting Benue and giving them 5 million rands in today's Nigeria is like adding to people's suffering. Please, politics is not about media charade. So please tell your leader to be mindful of the things he does in the media. They only bring shame to the obedient movement. And we are not talking about the container economy here. I would like to also put you into the proper perspective. Governance is about right policies, programs, enabling environment, and not wiping sentiment on national TV. That said, there are key things that our leader has proposed to do, judging from the micro level achievements that he has done as one of the longest serving politicians, over 30 years in politics, having served in the National Assembly as a senator in the Third Republic, legislative experience, having served as a governor, executive experience, and having served as a party leader that picked an opposition leader party from AD to becoming
Okay, I think we lost him.
Yeah, I think when questions are asked, they should answer it than rigmarole.
Yes, okay.
We're not
We're waiting for him. Let me direct that question to you. What will be your fear, or what are your fears in respect to this upcoming election, considering that you are first a Nigerian before being a member of the Labour Party? What are your fears?
One of my major concerns.
Are you back?
Hello.
Are you back? Honorable Toyin, are you back?
No, I'm back. I'm here.
Okay.
We are saying that you should answer the question that was asked and not throwing punches and going around. Please answer the question that he asked and stop giving us facts that are false.
Going to do to alleviate the fears and to move to achieve economic prosperity that Nigeria wants and to drop inflation to single digits. One is bringing light electricity to Nigeria. He has demonstrated that by bringing independent power project to Lagos, and Lagos generates one of the highest power and distribute one of the highest power in the country. If he has done that at a macro level, Nigeria can be rest assured that under the leadership of our leader, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu, Nigeria will not only generate power, but also distribute power accordingly to the rest of Nigerians, and Nigerians will pay nothing, small to nothing for power, because it forms the it's very pivotal when it comes to economic development. One of the things our leader also talked about, like he has done by bringing Econet to Nigeria, being the first telecommunication company, is saying that for us to achieve the fourth industrial revolution in Nigeria, we must, as a matter of urgency, ensure that the 5G technology, nanotechnology, and amongst other, artificial intelligence that is powered on sound technological or telecommunication infrastructure, like we did in Lagos in 1999 when we introduced Econet, is going to be introduced into the Nigerian economy, so that the fourth industrial revolution that we believe is going to champion Nigeria to its economic prosperity will be sacrosanct. And our leader also says something that you cannot do anything.
Your fears. You are still campaigning. The question is your fears.
Our leader also said he's going to bring about what is called international trade. He has said on so many forums that Russia is the largest supplier of gas to Europe. America is now taking the lead. He said Nigeria is more of a gas economy than an oil economy. Our leader has championed that some of the money that has been used to build spaceship in China, in America, should be used to develop a pipeline from Nigeria, from Bonny to Europe, and we are going to be competing at the international community. That is what is called sound international trade policy, building a pipeline infrastructure from Nigeria to Europe and selling gas to the economy. And lastly, like our leader is also going to bring in reforms that will change the economy of Nigeria. Like he has done.
I think you have to come back when the chairperson or representative is here. We're going to square that out and your counterpart. At this point, I want you to tell me, what is your fear? Or what are your fears as a Nigerian going into this upcoming election? Because as Nigerians, we know our fears. I have my own fears because I know the Nigerian history when it comes to election. Now we are going into another election. What will be your fear, or what are your fears as a Nigerian?
Like I said, there are no fears.
Is that for me?
No fear.
Okay.
There are no fears because we will believe that if you can bring about good governance, security, prosperity is what Nigerians crave for. And Nigerians are only scared of electing incompetent media charade leaders. That is their fear. They are looking for a leader who has demonstrated capacity, experience, both legislative, executive experience, to lead them. So their fear is that Nigerians should not make the mistake of electing a container economy or electing a leader who has demonstrated unending failure at the presidential poll as their leader, so that those are the fears Nigerians have. And that's why we have profiled a progressive leader in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to lead Nigeria to the destiny that we all crave for and bring about single-digit inflation and economic prosperity, international trade built on sound policies, reforms to reform our legal framework, legal architecture, security architecture, and bring about electricity, not like visiting Egypt to go and take pictures for as though you are a model.
Honorable Toyin, I really appreciate it. Okay, now I want to go back to Honorable Samuel.
Okay, is it me?
Go straight to the question.
Hello?
Now, we are looking at, our times are running out. We're looking at the fears now as Nigerians. What are our fears going to this election? We have so many things in mind. Looking at the INEC, do we trust that INEC, the institution, so well? Do we trust the present leadership so well to deliver this election free and fair? These are some of these are things I expect you guys to talk about, because we are all Nigerians. We should know better. What are your fears as an individual, as a Nigerian, and also as a member of a political party?
Thank you very much. Before I answer that your question, If Bola Ahmed Tinubu have all these things in his coffer to deliver Nigeria, and he's the leader of APC and the stalwart of APC, campaigned for 8 years in 2015, dished out all these promises, and he allowed this party, this current government, to fail woefully. And you're talking about building a pipeline from Nigeria to Europe. That's very funny. Anyway, I won't contend word on that. One of our major fear is that this government might not want to hand over to the winner of this election. Every apparatus is in place to avoid rigging.
Put that in context, Honorable Ike.
Every apparatus. Okay, let me start with the election. The beaver system is making it impossible for rigging to happen, even though they have been working assiduously to see a way to do that. Our fear is that the government will collude with INEC. One thing they can do is to ensure that in some polling units that the beavers will not work, and therefore voting in that unit will not happen, and votes will be lost. And this might happen in the key strong polling units of Labour parties. That is one of our major concerns, even though it's being looked into. Secondly, is this election making it an inconclusive one, thereby not handing over to the winner of the election. These are our two main fears. But God willing, we will not get to that. That's my fear as a Nigerian.
Amen. We pray we'll not get to that point, because we're all looking forward to a new Nigeria that is capable of driving its economy and alleviating Nigerians from wretchedness and poverty and what have you, insecurity. So I want to leave that for Honorable Goze Ireboli. Honorable Goze, as an analyst, what is it that is your major fear?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Prof. I think it is a surprise that the APC man said they have no fears about the election. That portends so many things, but we will not go into that. Anybody conversant with elections in Nigeria from colonial era till now must know the nature of elections in Nigeria. As the Labour Party man has pointed out, number one fear is subversion of the will of the people. Subversion of the will of the people through rigging and collusion is a known factor. It's a factor everybody fears. And that factor has always been the reason for voters apathy in Nigeria. People feel, well, what am I wasting my time? Why must I register? Why must I vote? After all, vote does not count. But one lucky thing in this election is that due to Obi factor, I still give that credit to Obi, that our party to some extent has been, has been thrown away. Voter party is not there, but we still have the problem of voters' education and enlightenment. I'll come to that. Number two fear is INEC neutrality and capacity to conduct the election.
Okay.
Nigeria expects a free and fair, credible and acceptable election. How prepared and how competent and how willing is INEC to do this? Yes, barely 30 days to the election. Most people have not gotten their PVCs. Most people don't even know where their polling booth is. 30 days to the election, voters' education has not begun. We are talking about beavers. How does it work? The people don't know. There's no campaign about that. There's inadequate voters' education. Yeah, people are willing to vote, but the awareness is not there. What will it be? On the election day, there will be so many void votes. People will vote, wrongly. So it's a question of, one is subversion of the will of the people, two, inadequate voters' education, INEC neutrality and capacity to conduct the election. Is it there? This government, INEC under this government, has proved to be partisan. I'm not sorry to say that. There are high incidences of inconclusive election, as the man or the Labour Party man pointed out. It is said that because of their woeful performance, they know they cannot win an election. And where they did not win, they will declare what? Inconclusive. It has happened in this government more than any government in the history of Nigeria. So it's an issue. How prepared is INEC? How neutral is INEC? Two. Then the number 3 thing is violence. There's insecurity in the land. It is said that people in APC are perfecting the strategies to intimidate voters from the areas that are not their stronghold. It is done in Lagos. Even for people to come out and register and collect their PVC, it is said that area boys are mobilized to attack them. So it is speculated that they are also, it's part of their strategy to intimidate people, to stop people from coming out to vote. So violence. Under that condition, the election will no longer be free. People will not come out to vote. People will be forced to remain indoors. So it's fear. Then the issue of rigging, electoral malfeasance, ballot board snatching, and all that. These are fears. People are still not seeing the fears. And that is why at different campaign rallies, you hear political leaders telling the people, vote. And what? Make sure that your vote counts. Vote and defend your vote. Because it's expected that they will intimidate the people who will vote and run away, and they will snatch ballot boxes. But with the beavers, I think that problem might be, tackled. So INEC has not given Nigeria the cause to believe that they are neutral. They've not given the cause, they've not deepened our democracy. We cannot overemphasize the importance of the electoral umpire. They are there. So Nigeria have been yearning for effective electoral system that will reduce costs, monetary and incidental, reduce electoral malfeasance, deepen our democracy, and encourage democratic participation. But unfortunately, we've not had it from this government. We've not had it from INEC. So it's part of our fears going into the election. If these things are strengthened out, I bet you a new dawn will be ushered in Nigeria. Come.
I would like to respond to that quickly.
Thank you. Okay, before we
I'd like to respond to that quickly. No, I think he has finished, but I would like to respond to
No, we cannot keep responding. If we respond to everything you say, we won't go here.
Okay.
It's not possible.
Just 1 minute.
Respond to your last.
No, just 1 minute, just to give my own contribution to
your
2 persons that stopped
last.
The labor, the obedient leader.
Your last episode, if I want to still be talking now. So there's no.
I'm going to give you a space now before we go. I'm going to give you a space before we go because our time is running out.
Yes.
And that space is your wish for Nigeria before we go in a very short, just in less than 60 seconds because our time is up. We are going to have another debate, and I just hope you will be available for that debate. We are going to be looking at some of these things we could not look at today. So for it to be balanced, you have to be available. So I will talk about it because Nigerians are watching. The election is drawing closer. We have to keep talking about it until we go to the election. At this point, I would like you to give Nigerians your advice before we leave the platform. What advice will you give to Nigerians before we go today in respect to this coming election?
My advice to Nigerians is that INEC has demonstrated capacity in the last 2 gubernatorial elections that was held. One in Ekiti that APC won, and another one in Osun State that PDP won. That will show the neutrality of INEC when it comes to this election. So Nigerians should be rest assured that the election umpire has demonstrated, judging from the experience in the recent times, that neutrality will be sacrosanct in this election. Like we said, we are not talking about...
You are speaking for INEC.
And secondly, we also want to tell Nigerians that besides the neutrality that has been demonstrated in Osun and Ekiti, that the electoral reform that was signed into law enabled the PDP to win Osun State. And the Osun State governor went to the president and thanked him for signing the electoral law into electoral reform into law. That shows that INEC has been empowered, has been budgeted adequately, and the reforms will prevent rigging, will prevent ballot snatching. So Nigerians should be rest assured. And lastly, Nigerians should be rest assured so that the IPOP, the Boko Harams, adequate infrastructure, the security architecture has been worked on to ensure that we curb the menace of IPOP, or we curb the menace of Boko Haram and other menace across the country that might want to interfere in the successful conduct of this election. So security is guaranteed. We are improving our architecture, and we are certain electoral reform is sacrosanct, and the fairness and neutrality of INEC cannot be negotiated. Thank you. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Honorable Toyin Oyekame. Toyin Oyekame is the chairperson of APC South Africa. He's also a businessman. You can hear about Jollof Cafe, very popular in South Africa. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate your time. It's been wonderful having you here this afternoon. And at this point, I want to leave the floor briefly for the APC chairperson. Your final words for our viewers, your advice in view of this upcoming election.
APC or Labour? Are you still talking to APC or Labour Party?
Oh, Labour Party. Labour Party. What would be your advice as we go? Just in less than 60 seconds, please.
Thank you very much. My advice to Nigerians is that let us vote competence, credibility, transparency, and integrity. Let us vote for a Nigeria of our dream. Let us vote the candidates we want our generation to emulate. Let us vote for a candidate that we will be proud to give our children his name. And let us vote for Peter Obi so that Nigeria can become better. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I know, I'm very sure that Honorable Goze Ireboli also shares the same sentiment. I don't know, Honorable, do you have anything to say in this just to...
Yes, thank you very much, Prof. First of all, I have to make an observation from the way the APC man spoke. Yes, I can't take it away from him. He's very persuasive and passionate. But then he's trying to also reconfirm our fears. He's speaking for the government and for INEC. That confirms our fears about INEC, situation. But that notwithstanding, I am appealing to Nigerians. We have gone through hell in the past 8 years. This is the time for you to make decisions. This is the time for you to use your PVC, your power. If you still want this pain to continue, the choice is yours. You don't make mistake now and regret another 8 years. So use your vote. Vote for competence, as the Labour man has said. Vote for competence. Vote for the candidate you feel that will restore Nigeria on the path of peace, prosperity, and progress, so that I will not regret later. Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having all of you, the honorables in the house this afternoon. It's been Afro Politics panel discussion on CleanNat TV in diaspora. My name is AJ Oba. Thank you for staying tuned to this point. It's been a heated one. We have exhausted the time, the debate, and all of that. We'll continue with this debate until the election day. Hopefully next week or upcoming week or coming days, we'll have another one on this platform. And we look forward to having you on board. We have Honorable Goze Ireboli, economics, leadership, and policy scholar, speaking all the way from Nigeria. And we have Honorable Samuel Ikechukwu, the chairman of Labour Party South Africa, speaking from South Africa. And we also have Otumba Honorable Toyin Oyekame, the chairman of APC South Africa, also speaking from South Africa. And you have my humble self, AJ Oba, the anchor to this program. My humble advice to Nigerians, as a Nigerian now speaking, is vote for someone you can trust your children into his care come February 2023. That's my last word. And I wish you well and do have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself. Till we meet again on Clipnat TV is Afro Politics. God bless all of you and thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you. Vote for Shiwaju. Yeah.